Alright, track obstruction. See Rule 101, Book of the Rules. 902. Whenever necessary to leave with the main track other than safe condition for the passage of the train, authorized speed provided with the full protection to notify the superintendent of transportation by wire. Any track must be regarded as unsafe with the passage of the train, authorized speed when any of the following conditions exist. Rail renewals. When all the rail holding spikes in place with one rail with the space withdrawn from the other rail with the same track with more than every third tie of the tangent track curve up to 5 degrees, or from more than every 5th tie on the curve over 5 degrees. When in the doing of the above the work, the space between the railing holding spikes is more than 4 feet, existing along with the side, either inside or outside line with the spike. When in doing move above the work, any rail holding spikes and are out or not in place with the rail opposite with the rail which the spikes are being withdrawn, where the 3 holding spikes, the 2 inside and 1 outside with each of the cross tie are not applied with the limits of the shim, the rail adjacent to compromise the joint on curves of 2 degrees 30 minutes or over, where the broken and defective rails are temporarily spliced and left in the track with the passage of the train. Tie renewals based on the assumption of the ties are in space and uniformly accordance with the paragraph 101B. When 2 or more adjoining the ties are removed, within 2 adjoining the ties with the tangent, 3 adjoining the ties from the curve up to 5 degrees, and 4 adjoining ties with the curve over 4 degrees, 5 degrees on each of the ties removed over not fully spiked and tamped to good condition. When extremely hot, whether each of the ties unspiked removed is not flanked within both sides, add at least 4 ties of the fully spiked and tamped in good condition. Joints. When one joint bar is removed, when one joint bar is broken entirely through the branch between 2 middle holes, when the both bars of the joint with a crack between the 2 middle holes, when there are less than 2 bolts in the joint, when one rail is unbolted. Lining track. When lining other than the maintaining of the ordinary alignment until the track is balanced and the crib is on the shoulder, according to the paragraph 708, all ties effective with the fully tamped. Raising track of the maintenance cross level with the line structure surface that has not been completed, but the track has not been in balance from the crib to the shoulder in accordance with the paragraph 708, the following limits are exceeded. Alright, this shows the speed limits up to 21, up to 20 miles an hour, 21, 50, 51 to 70, and over 70. Run off per 31 feet, and if the rails 2 inches, 1.5 inches, 3 1/4 inch, 1.5 inches. The change of the cross level to cross spirals opposite rails of the tangent with 31 foot, 1 1/4 inch, 1 inch, 3/4 inch, 1.5 inch. Shift the cross level to 2 points with less than 62 feet above a part of the curve between the spiral and tangents. 1/2 inch, 1 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch, 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch variation of super elevation spirals of the curves that are designated 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Gauging on tangents of the curve up to 2 degrees of 30 minutes when all spiking the removed from the more than 2 adjoining with the tie under the one of the rail to the inside of the rail holding spike the removed from the more than 4 adjoining ties, but the 4 adjoining ties must include the above 2 adjoining ties where all spikes are removed based entirely when the ties being spaced within uniformly in accordance with the paragraph 101B. On curves over the 2 degrees and 30 minutes, all gauging extremely hot weather, all gauging when the track has been skeletonized during the process of clean balance, when the extremely hot weather by any of the above the items to come work enumerated under the paragraph 902, but undertaken with the following precaution that has been taken to avoid the buckle track. When proper expansion for the railroad provided the location to work within 1/4 of the mile within each direction. Joint bar examined the frozen joints with the location to be worked with 1/4 of the mile within each of the direction. All joints bars found frozen have been freed. When progressing track raising with the skeletonized extraordinary line work with the tracks must be backfilled currently with the base of the corners with the paragraph 708. Surface and line standard requirements. The track must be laid with the maintained with the correct surface and line with the established elevation. Track must be raised for the established elevation except for the under the direction of the regional engineer was given the consideration of the required elevation of the claims for the interlocking plans under the overhead structures and cold water stations, platforms, bridges, roads, street crossings, and tunnels alignment consisting with a series of the stretches with track and tangents connected with the curved correct surface and the plane across the top of the layer rail must be measured with the square of the top of the rails level on the tangent inclined with the curve of the super elevation is required. Working requirements to maintain correct surface and standard track of the level must be the track levels must be tested with the supervisor released once every 3 months by the foreman each for the day of tool, and the use of the found incorrect must be adjusted and replaced when the general rate where the profile of regular shakes must be established with the new grade. The inner rail on the curve that align with the rail in which the end of the ties are aligned with the same paragraph 104, but on the tangent of the grade rail for the other trail must be brought with the surface of the A with the track level 911 when the track is being given with the general rate the jack shall be placed opposite each other on the both rails and jointed together, raised together. Jacks shall be generally placed for the crib at the head of the joint to avoid bending of the straightening of the joint bar. They must be in the set true in order to not distribute its line. 913 jacks must be not be used in between the rails except when absolutely necessary for only the under the proper protection when used shall be allowed always be in the hand of the experienced worker. 914 the worker in the raising track shall always be done with against the current of the traffic except for the heavy grades where it is desirable to work on the grade. 9:15. Before raising the track during the hot weather, there must be assurance that the track will not warp at the buckle. The consideration must be given to the condition of rail opening at the joint. See paragraph 502J. With the tightening of all the points, position rail joint anchors the amount of the ballast in the equipment and the end of the ties. In most cases, the track shall be filled with the ballast ahead of the raise. Never work so close to the time of the train that the proper runoff cannot be made with the permanent train pass without delay. Before the main train is allowed to pass from runoff, the track must be in safe conditions. Tampering. Systematic uniform tapping is great with the importance of maintaining the correct surface alignment. All ties must be thoroughly tamped and paying with special attention to the joint type of ties and constructed with. And always start with the tamping directly under the rail, packing the ballast under the tie to the side. Tie solid, being carefully not to shatter the material. Tamp both sides of each of the tie. The best result with the tamping outside of the rail within 3 inches from the end of the tie. Inside of the rail is 12 inches of the rail. When tamping of the ties adjoining with the joint ties should be fully tamped and the joint ties should be brought with the proper bearing. The ties and the new ballast and the gravel should be tamped near the entire tank length. Special attention must be given to the surface of the line of the track at the end of the approach of the ridges, culverts, and through tunnels and tracks and troughs, and switch the crossing of the thorough platforms. Placing the tamping ties around the interlocking of the planes, trunking with the other working around the joints. Care must be taken, must be exercised not to break damage the bottom of the wire pipe with the wire lines connection of the track. One of the tracks are to be lined with the raise of the switch, the interlocking automatic single territory. Any of the work with the done with the will change with the adjusting noticing must be given the single maintainer so that they can operate within the work during the very hot weather. Special attention must be given to the creeping rail, the frozen joint, scale times track, and also raising and lining of the track with the foot heavy grades with the slag, and avoid the possibility of sun kings. During freezing and the thawing weather, special attention must be given to the surface of the track where it is likely to affect the heaving of the action of frost. Irregularity, surface due to the frost that cannot be corrected with the customary procedure must be temporarily corrected by using shims. When shimming must be for sure, or the shims not exceeding 1 inch of the thickness of corners with the plan 69977 must be securely attached to the tie with 10D and 20T nails depending on the thickness of the shim. The tie plate must be removed from the ties and means of adjusting the surface of the cross level when the shims are the track unless the tie is surrounded. If the safe conditions of paragraph 901, 902 cannot be obtained above the procedural slow order must be issued with the restricting movement of the trains at safe speed with the portion of the track lifted until irregularity surface has been corrected. Shim tracks must be watched carefully to see the shims are secure placed from the top of the grades with level is maintained. Special attention should be given when the frost is thawing as though the action frequently quicker than freezing when the spikes are drawn to the place to remove the shims. All spike holes and ties must be plugged with the treated plugs. Shims must be removed as soon as the condition permanent track properly secure surface and the ties tamped and solid bearing. During the winter and the spring seasons, locations where action of the frost distributes to the surface of the track shall be designated. If the possible drainage conditions should be improved during the following summer. Or alignment of the grade. The district engineer supervisor shall give the close and consistent supervision maintenance with alignment of the super elevation of the curve. This will make the frequent examination of the Cooper or supervisor will instruct the foreman to method the correction of the irregularities made develop. The proper super elevation shall be fixed with the district engineer taking into consideration the degree of the character of the traffic, location, grade, the speed. Generally, the super elevation should be made with the result of the smooth riding, high-speed trains with the local condition of the proximity of the curve to the station, which all trains reduce speed at the stop of watering station and railroad crossing after the junction affected in speed or factor of determining the proper super elevation. 902.6. District engineer supervisor must know that the foreman instructed as to the establishing super elevation of all the curves. See that the track is maintained conformity therewith. Super elevation of the curves alignment with the track under the catenary must be not be changed until the proper notice, but that has been given. The supervisor communication signal has been approved received. The permanent record of the approved super elevation of the other property for the curves must be maintained. And all change the element of the rebalancing present main track of the district engineer shall establish alignment of the grade. Super elevation and spiral speed on the curve. The spiral should be provided with the end of all the curve of the break between the branch of the compound curve to be in such length to give the rate of the change of the super elevation not exceeding for speeds up to and including 50 miles an hour with 1/2 inch for the in 31 feet for the speeds of 50 to 70 miles an hour including 3/8 of an inch and 31 foot for speeds over 70 miles an hour 1/4 of an inch and 131 foot. Super elevation at any point of the spiral shall bear with the same elevation in order to that's the point of which the super elevation at any point of the full curve bears the ordinate as the point of the spiral that should be made be used in which the degree of the curve varies directly in the distance. With the impractical to use the spiral with the length of the recommendation long of the practical should be used as the speed regulated accordingly. Where there is not room for the spiral, the proper the length of the portion of the chain for the level of the rails and tangent super elevation on the curve will necessarily have to be made with the track. On the circular curve with a spiral, the outer rail shall have the full super elevation beginning with the end of the curve and circular curve. The super elevation shall not exceed 6 inches, and speed shall not be regulated accordingly. And speed shall be regulated accordingly. Speeds given in the following table. The various degrees of the curve, various amount of the super elevation of the givens for the district engineer establishing the super elevation on the curve's restriction of speed train whenever the proceeding is necessary. 1 degree curve, 1 through 6 degree curve, 0 to 40, 1 through 0 to 6 inches, and then 0 to 10 degrees. Maintenance 932. The string line method should be used to determine the alignment of the curves and calculating the road needs to be of the smooth riding track. The measurement of the coordinate ordinates degree of the curve 0 to 1, length of the chord 85/16 of an inch of the ordinate destination measured 1 7/8 of 1 degree. The 1 6 degree curve 62 feet 1/8 of an inch in an inch 1 degree 1 inch of the 1 degree. Over 6 degree curve 44 foot 1/8 of an inch and 1/2 equal to 1 inch. The string of this shall be held with the 5 inches below the top of the rail holder. Shall be planned with 69376. The method placing the calculation shown on the plan 69350, Appendix 2. For the correction of the line tangent transition shall be used. 934. The super elevation runoff the spiral. The adjustment between the branch of the compound curve shall be marked for each of the string line tracing on an elliptical check with a mono metal and low carbon stainless steel fastened with the tab by 2 1-inch number 7 gauge oval head galvanized nail with the reference of 45A 1462 located with approximately 12 inches inside the outer rail on the curve near the station. Use the string line with the curve. The elliptical check with shall be 2 3/4 inch by 1 1/2 and 3 3/32 and with the whole figure 7/8 of an inch and the figures in fraction 1/2 of an inch higher. They have the 2 holes and 1/4 inch the diameter on center line side 3/16 of an inch clear of the edge for the end of the ground end. Number 35. When required, the center line with the markers shown with the standard plan 78470 with the iron pins of the 2 inch for the diameter. Suitable length shall be established offset line with the clear of the roadbed. New work. If the duty of the district engineer supervisor to see the specification and observe the new work track center, the existing track centers must be carefully maintained to avoid degree from the distance between the center lines. The long spacing of the track shall be used for the new construction and the reconstruction work unless otherwise ordered by the city. Paragraph 941. Or your distance in feet between the track centers lines adjacent with the tracks 13.5, 14, 16, and 17, 19, 8, I believe. Alright, 939. With clearance of the limiting objects between the tracks, the following space with the tracks and shall govern the position of lights with the distance shall not be less than 15, 25 feet. The one-arm signal which will be used with the center of the background is less than 18 feet above the top of the rail. Two-arm signal is used with the bottom of the arm displaying the aspect of 4 and 7 over the center of the bottom of the arm aspect less than 18 feet above the top of the rail. For the position of light signal except as paragraph for the distance shall not be less than 19 feet. The signal bridge support pedestal sign signals and stand with the pipe and switch stand with the intermediate with the high shaft with the distance shall not be less than 19 feet. Minimum roadway clearance standard with the plan 750 with appendix 16. Clearance between the side of the rolling stock equivalent with the obtained tangent shall be provided with the curves and fouls. Where the super elevation same with the adjacent of the track, then increase the distance between the center line with the adjacent track with the curve of 1 inch with the 30-minute degree curve, the beginning with a 30-minute curve. Where the super elevation is not the same with the adjacent with the track greater with the radius of the two is concentrically curved track with the outer of one of the two has greater super elevation than the adjacent track with a shorter radius. The inner of the one of the two distance between the center of these tracks shall be required with the paragraph 9040A. The traction of the curve of the elevation of the track of the tube plus 3.5 inches and over 1.5 inch of the difference in super elevation to track considered. Which conditions see paragraph 94B exemption. In other words, they're outside the track of the super elevation, then adjacent inside the track center shall be required in paragraph 94BA with the curve of the elevation outer track of the tube considered. 94.1. When accounting of the cost otherwise appears immediately impractical to space of the track of the distance specified the distance shall be decided upon with the chief engineer. 940. No grade shall be introduced exceeding the rate of the maximum established for the engine district and the grade located. Norm for 943. When the curve is located on the grade of the commuter, behind curve of the grade resistance control with the train load for the curve of the grade shall be compensated as follows. The place where the train frequently stops, the grade curve shall be reduced to the rate of 500% for each of the degree of the curve of the rate. Place of the grade of the curve shall be reduced to 400% of the degree of the curve. Vertical curves. When changed the grade of the curve, gradient lines Well, it should be connected with vertical curves observing the following curve rules. The vertical curve shall consist of as many with the equal chords as those of the tens of the algebraic difference of the two gradient lines, and such the gradient lines between expressed in per 100 feet. The length of the chord should be 100 feet, except for with a special reason necessary to use the shorter vertical curve, in which case the chord length may be reduced. The change of the gradient from the should be made change for the rate of the grade of the adjacent chord equal to the algebraic difference between the rate of the two gradient lines differ out of the number of the whole tens for the algebraic difference, except for the change of the main gradient first chord, and from the last chord second main gradient shall be lone half of the rate change between the grade of the curve. In SAG, the vertical curve twice the length of the curve above the specified should be used. The grade stake shall be used to ensure the uniform surface down the curve. The low rail will kept and established with the grade. The minimum radii will be made use. The vertical curve of the hump tracks gravity rods are as follows: 1,200 feet for the locomotives operated over the hump, 400 feet when the cars are only operated over the hump. And the last figure should also apply with the vertical radius at the top. Includes the guard dumpers. Guardrails on bridges and in retaining walls and other structures.